please hit that subscribe button.
Hey everybody.
Better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody. So we are continuing to look at a lineup of my favorite players at each position from every team in the NHL. And today we are moving on to the Buffalo Sabres. So I'll be talking about my favorite Sabres and making a lineup with, a left wing, center, right wing, 2D, and a goaltender of my favorite players at each position for Buffalo. Before we start, I just ask that you please hit that subscribe button if you're new, and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, as that really helps out the channel and is greatly appreciated. But let's get into it here, looking at my favorites on Buffalo, starting at left wing, where I have to say it's Victor Olofsson. His rookie season this year, he was absolutely outstanding. Looks like a very good young goal scorer for Buffalo. And hopefully they can continue to build around Jack Eichel and Olofsson and Sam Reinhart and Rasmus Dahlin and try and get this team into a position where they can actually win games and make the playoffs and be a good team. But Victor Olofsson had a tremendous season this year in his first NHL season and his first full NHL season, and he looks really good. I'm a big fan of his, and I like the goal scoring ability that he brings to the lineup. At center, obviously, it's Jack Eichel. He's my favorite player on the Sabres. He is, just an incredible talent, incredibly good player. He's one of the top players in the league. It's a shame that they don't have a better team around him right now. But Eichel's absolutely unreal and an absolute blast to watch. He can score, he can set up, he's a great skater, he can dangle. I mean, this guy does everything that you need him to offensively. Incredible player, so I'm a huge fan of Jack Eichel. Right wing, he's only been on the Sabres not since February at the trade deadline, but I'm going to say Wayne Simmonds. Wayne Simmonds has been one of my favorite players in the entire NHL for the past decade. I'm a huge Wayne Simmonds fan, love the guy, and his style of play, his power forward, his ability. The offense has gone away, sure, but his, in his prime, his ability to score and rack up goals and points while also being a massively physical player and someone who hits and fights and gets involved in every way physically. I love those kind of players. Those are my favorite players in, NHL history, throughout the NHL. I love guys like that. I love that power forward type. And Simmonds was certainly that for a long time in the NHL. So he became one of my favorite players in the entire league. Obviously, the offense has gone away for him as he's gotten older, but I still think he's a very good veteran, third, fourth line guy to have as kind of a mentor and a physical guy in the lineup and someone who will stand up for his teammates. The days of him being a top six winger and scoring 20 to 30 goals are over. But I still think he brings value to a lineup in a bottom six role as a guy who just kind of chips in a little bit and obviously is a good veteran guy that will stick up for his teammates and do stuff like that. So huge Simmonds fan, always have been. On D, my top D-man, my favorite, it's not who's best or worst, it's my personal favorites. My favorite D-man is Jake McCabe. I've been a big fan of Jake McCabe since he's come into the league with Buffalo. I think he's a good young defenseman. I hope that him playing in Buffalo doesn't, ruin his career or, anything like that. But I think he's a good, solid young D-man, and I like what he brings to the table. Other defenseman is Rasmus Dahlin, obviously. Top pick, just awesome player. Incredibly talented. Somebody who is going to rack up a lot of points from the back end as an offensive defenseman. And I think has a bit of an underrated defensive game as well. A lot of times those offensive defensemen, certainly in some cases are real bad in the defensive zone, but make up for it with their offense. I think Dahlin is better in the defensive zone than people realize. And obviously he's still very young, so he's got a lot more developing and a lot more growing to do at the NHL level. But the ceiling for Rasmus Dahlin is very high. And then finally in goal, I have to go with Linus Ullmark. Carter Hutton has been an absolute disaster in Buffalo. Neither of his years in Buffalo this year or last year did he live up to what he was supposed to be when he signed that contract. Linus Ullmark actually played pretty darn well this year. For the team in front of him not being very good at all, Linus Ullmark looked pretty good. He played well. His numbers weren't bad. And I think, I don't think he's ever going to be like a high-end starting goaltender in the NHL, but I do think he's a very solid option to have in goal. It would make an incredibly good backup if they could ever go out and get that franchise-level elite goalie. Ullmark would be an incredibly good backup to have still on the roster. So there are my favorites lineup for the Buffalo Sabres, guys. Left wing, Victor Olofsson. Center, Jack Eichel. Right wing, Wayne Simmons. D, Jake McCabe. D, Rasmus Dahlin. And goaltender, Linus Ullmark. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys soon.